Yes, Guru Maharaj, we can go just in English.
Oh, Bhakti Granta is already from the kitchen back.
Yes, exactly. Hare Krishna, please accept my humble obeisances.
So, Vanamali?
Vanamali will not come today. She informed us this morning. Ekadashi is...
Huh?
Yes, Ekadashi is now here in Subotica,
Yeah.
and she is in Vanamali's place.
Yeah. So that means she will not, because of that, she will not take place part.
I don't know. We invited them to come, but she sent us a message that they will not come. I don't know why.
Oh, later they will come.
Yes, but not for the class.
Yes.
That's the question.
For the prasadam then. Huh?
Yes. At 1 o'clock, yeah. I don't know why they decided like that, actually.
No. Good, then we can start, huh?
Yes.
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Uti Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Uti Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Prachachana Ranjana Yashodanandana Prachachana Ranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Upijana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Prachachana Ranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Sarasvate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavati Pashyata Deshatarine Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hariharaya Nama Krishna, Yadavaya Namaha, Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha. Gopal Govinda Ram Srimatu Sudam Giridhari Gopinath Madana Mohan Sri Chaitanya Nityananda Sri Advaita Sita Hari Guru Vaishnava Bhagavata Gita Rup se sanatam patara guna Sri Shiva Gopala Bhatta Dasara Guna Yaraya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha Gopal Govinda Ram Srimatu Sudam Haribol 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 Nitai Gaur Haribol Namaste Narasingaya Pralalala Dataine Hiranyakashipo Vakshaya Sinatam Kanakalaye Ito Nisingo Parato Nisingo Yato Yato Yamitato Nisingo Pahir Nisingo Ritaye Nisingo Nisingamatim Sharanam Praptate Avakara Kamalabare Nakam Atuta Singam Alita Hiranya Kashipu Tano Bringam Keshabatrita Narahari Rupa Jagati Sahare Jai Jagati Sahare Jai Jagati Sahare Chini Singo, Chini Singo, Chai Chini Singo, Desha Chaya Padma Mukha Padma Bingo, Ugra Vira Mahavishram Chvalantam Samatomukam, Nisingam Vishdanam Badam Vitum Vitum Namamiham, Chai Vishtabad Brahmam Saparajacharya Studha Satsi Simatis Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Samaraj Srila Prabhupada Ki Chai. Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda ki jai, Namacharya Silharitas Thakur ki jai. Prem Se Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shyamakund Radha Kund Giri Govardhan ki jai. Maipur Navadip Dham ki jai. Vrindavan Mathura Dham ki jai. Ganga Mai ki jai, Yamuna Mai ki jai, Tulsi Devi ki jai, Bhakti Devi ki jai, Harinam Sankirtanya ki jai, Samaveta Bhaktivinoda ki jai. All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to Guru Karanga, God bless you, Prabhupada. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayana Namaskrityam Naram Chaivam Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Yasam Tato Chayamotirayat Nastapreshu Apatreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shlokher Bhakti Bhavati Naishviki Krishna Svatamapakate Dharmakyan Visaha Kalonasta Sammesha Purunarkotunoditaha Ukam karoti vachalam pangum langayati girim yat kripatam maham ande shikurum dinataranam. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. So, Krantaraj Sima Bhagavatam Ki Jai. Today we read from Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, second chapter, text 5. Last time we had Narayana Naskrityam, Naram Chavam Narottamam, Devi Saraswati Vyasam, Tato Chayam Odhiraya. Sutta Goswami, before speaking, he offers his respects to the higher authorities and the Supreme Lord to receive blessing so that he could represent the Lord and the words of his representatives for the pleasure and the inspiration of the sages of Naimisharanya. Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances unto the personality of Godhead Narayana, unto Nara Narayana Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author of the Bhagavatam and all the Vedas. So then today's verse is the text 5. So he's congratulating the sages for their very relevant and essential questions and important questions. Munayo sadhu prishtoham bhavat pir loka mangalam yat krita Krishna samprashno yenatva suprasidati. Munayo means sages. Sadhu means this is relevant. Prishna questioned. It's a good question, relevant question. Aham, myself, bhavat be, by all of you, loka, the world, mangalam, welfare. Yat, because Krita made, Krishna, the personality of Godhead, samprashna, relevant question. Like in horoscope, there's prashna. So you ask a question and then the answer is given by the stars. That's the prashna. So samprashna. It's the most relevant question, beneficial for everyone, not only for one person. Yena, by which Atma, the self, suprasidati, completely pleased and satisfied. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. O sages, I have been justly questioned by you. Your questions are worthy because they relate to Lord Krishna and so are of relevance of the world's welfare. Only questions of this sort are capable of completely satisfying the self. Purport. Since it has been stated herein before that in the Bhagavatam, the absolute truth is to be known. The questions of the sages of Naimisharanya are proper and just, because they pertain to Krishna, who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the absolute truth. In the Bhagavad Gita 15:15, the personality of Godhead says that in all the Vedas there is nothing but the urge for searching after him, Lord Krishna. Thus the questions that pertain to Krishna are the sum and substance of all the Vedic inquiries. The whole world is full of questions and answers. The birds, beasts, and man are all busy in the matter of perpetual questions and answers. In the morning, the birds in the nest become busy with questions and answers. And in the evening, also the same birds come back and again become busy with questions and answers. The human being, unless he is fast asleep at night, is busy with questions and answers. The businessmen in the market are busy with questions and answers, and so are also the lawyers in the court and the students in the schools and colleges. The legislators in the parliament are also busy with questions and answers, And the politicians and the press representatives are all busy with questions and answers. Although they go on making such questions and answers for their whole lives, they are not at all satisfied. Satisfaction of the soul can only be obtained by questions and answers on the subject of Krishna. Krishna is our most intimate master, friend, father, or son, and object of conjugal love. Forgetting Krishna, we have created so many objects of questions and answers, but none of them are able to give us complete satisfaction. All things but Krishna give temporary satisfaction only. So if we are too heavy, if we are too heavy, so if we are to have complete satisfaction, we must take to the questions and answers about Krishna. We cannot live for a moment without being questioned or without giving answers, because the Srimad Bhagavatam deals with questions and answers that are related to Krishna. We can derive the highest satisfaction only by reading and hearing this transcendental literature. One should learn the Srimad Bhagavatam and make an all-around solution to all problems pertaining to social, political, or religious matters. Srimad Bhagavatam and Krishna are the sum total of all things. And there is also a small commentary by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur to this verse. It has been said previously in first canto, second chapter, text 1, that Sutta respects the words of the sages. This verse describes that respect. O sages, Munaya. The questions are very good, because I have been asked about what is auspicious for this world. Why is that good? You have asked questions about Krishna, all sorts of questions about Krishna, samprashna. And why is that good? By such questions about Krishna, the intellect becomes satisfied. It is my experience that by such questions about Krishna alone, immediately the intellect becomes satisfied. Because Atma means also the mind and the intellect, and also the soul. It means everything complete becomes satisfied. Again, the verse. We can also read the text 1 to remembering. Vyasa Vacha, iti samprashna samrishto vipranam raumaharshani prati puja vachastesham pravaktum upachakrame. Sutta Goswami, the son of Ramaharshan, being fully satisfied by the perfect questions of the Brahmanas, thanked them and thus attempted to reply. Then he offered 2 verses of his respects and obeisances to his spiritual master, from whom he learned the Srimad Bhagavatam, Shukadev Goswami, who was already a self-realized person. But still, although he was self-realized and liberated, he still became attracted to learn the Srimad Bhagavatam from his father Vyasadeva. And so that he could become inspired and more attracted to the lotus feet and the wonderful transcendental qualities of Lord Krishna. Those who are self-realized normally are not attracted to material qualities because material qualities have a beginning and an end. And therefore, they also don't like to hear and to speak and to questioning and get answers on the temporary topics. And in case they have some question and answers on the asat, that means this temporary material manifestation, then they only ask the questions about this to understand how temporary everything is, and also at the same time how actually this universe and everything in it actually all belongs to Krishna. It's not unrelated to the absolute truth. It's not unrelated to Krishna. Only atheists and materialists, they separate the material energy from the absolute truth, from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We call him Krishna. He has so many different names, but all these names are related to the absolute truth, to Krishna. They are bona fide from the revealed scriptures. They're revealed. And therefore, the devotee, sometimes they also study Sankhya, the structure of the universe, the elements, the different functions and gunas of the material nature. Because by understanding the material nature, we can learn how to become gradually detached from this material nature by engaging this material nature in the service of Krishna, or in the service of something good, beneficial for the creation. Because the creation is also a manifestation of the Supreme Lord, and as such it is not different from him. It's not different from him because it is his energy. Maya, Krishna says, is my energy. Mama Maya. Durateya. And she is very difficult to overcome. Nobody can conquer, nobody of living entities who take part in this material creation can conquer the Maya. Not to speak of the Supreme Lord. Maya is like a police lady. She's in charge for this material world. And she is taking care to keep the conditioned souls in illusion. And so those who are enamored by the different features of Maya, these features are unlimited, and they become more and more crazy and fabulous and fantastic. That everyone becomes completely, I would say, submerged in this ocean of Maya. Maya is also an ocean. Bhava Sagara, the ocean of birth and death. This is Maya. There's no burden, there's no death, there's no old age, there's no disease. This is all an illusion. Because of our bodily conception of life, we are accepting so many illusions as a reality. They are a reality as long as we are in the dreaming and sleeping stage. But if we are in the wakeful stage, that means if you wake up to spiritual life, to eternal life, then you see all these material, fantastic manifestations of Maya is insignificant. And the glories of the Lord is unlimited. One cannot compare it. Maya is like shadow, it's like darkness. The Supreme Lord is like the sun. So we cannot compare darkness with the sun. Darkness immediately disappears and the sun is present. And the sun is absent, darkness is taking over. So what means Maya? Maya means when absence of Krishna. absence of the absolute truth. Then asat instead of sat, the truth, asat is taking over, and then everything becomes covered by the darkness and of ignorance. And the living entities who are in this material creation of Maya, they cannot come out of this illusion without taking shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But how to take shelter in the Supreme Personality of Godhead? We have to have the good fortune, mercy of the Lord. Yasa prasada bhagava prasado. Yasa prasada nagati kutopi. By the mercy of Krishna, we receive the association and can meet spiritual master, the Vaishnavas. And by meeting him, then one can find out about what is the meaning of life. So if you meet a guru, a Vaishnava guru, you don't ask him, how is the day? How are you? What do you think about our world situation? How we can improve our dharma, artha, and karma, and maintain it? That's not the question. Today's verse, Prabhupada sending the word of the day by Srila Prabhupada, what he says, if you meet Guru, you should ask him not foolish things or things that are not related to the eternal benefit of spiritual life. The spiritual master is not a fashion. And sometimes we accept the spiritual master out of fashion because he's popular. Because in the internet he has many clicks, millions of clicks, and then he's the Jagat Guru, or because he has many million, hundreds and thousands of followers or millions of followers even. So Guru is not a fashion, and he has not long hairs and a beard and like that, and knows how to speak very eloquently, so to charm all his followers. He's not a flatterer. He speaks the truth. The material truth also is spoken by the Guru, but not out of just speaking bad about the material nature. Because the material nature also is, as already told, is Krishna's energy, so it should be used and understood as a maidservant of Krishna. And see, therefore the Guru has to learn us how to engage in the favorable service of Krishna, although we are in this material world. Despite of Maya and all the handicaps and illusions and tests she sends. That is the Guru's duty and purpose. Guru means heavy. He's heavy loaded. He can be soft like a flower, like a lotus, but he can also be very sharp and very heavy, powerful, charged with like a thunderbolt. We of course only like lotus. Thunderbolt we don't like so much, but the thunderbolt also is sometimes needed. Otherwise we don't wake up. We're just dreaming our flower dreams, flower power, and just stay in illusion. So Guru is sometimes very, very strong, very strict, because he's Acharya. He's teaching by his own example. And therefore, the Guru doesn't have to be a fashioned man or some popular man. It can be very simple. Maybe nobody knows about or speaks about him. In the newspaper, you cannot read about him unless they like to make a scandal. But we already know in the newspaper, we cannot read something good or something beneficial. It's only everything very low. That shows the mentality. That also shows the mentality of the people, because if everything is written very nicely and sweetly and favorable in the newspaper, nobody will read. Nobody would watch TV news, no, if it would be positive, or much less. So therefore, always some sensation, some scandals, some problems, some this, some that has to be reported. And the people, because their ears are full of stool, and their mind and heart is completely dirty, they become attracted to this kind of subject. Last times we heard about the example of the two kinds of bird, the crows and the swan. We cannot exemplify them, they never go together. The crow is always after dirt, and the swan is always swimming in the beautiful lakes or rivers with other swans or ducks together, peacefully. So they never mix together. Therefore, the swan is only after the essence, the nectar. And the crows only after garbage. They have very good eyes, but they only see garbage. So if our mentality is only full of garbage, then we cannot become attracted to the transcendental message, the pure message of the Supreme Lord and his representatives. Still, the spiritual master is coming. Sometimes maybe it's popular, sometimes it's less popular. That means many followers, less followers. That doesn't matter, because he's not after the quantity, he's in the quality. Even one person will become devotee. That's already, he considers his mission successful. So therefore, Srila Prabhupada here, he mentioned spiritual master is not a fashion that, oh, I should have a spiritual master. Because everyone else has a spiritual master, so I also need a spiritual master, so that I also become recognized under my peers and contemporaries. Because we always take that or follow that, what the others are following, the populace, the majority. Whatever the majority accepts as fashion, everyone has to imitate, although they don't know why. So that is not very healthy, because this kind of blind following or fanatical following or fashionable follower is a I would say a temporary. It's a temporary thing. It means fashions are always changing. So if this guru is not anymore in, then another guru I will take. Point is, we always have to follow guru. Either you follow the spirit power guru from Krishna, coming from Parampara, or you follow any kind of guru who gives you some kind of psychological or knowledge about how to improve your life. Even there are so many materialistic gurus also whom the people are following. But Bhagavatam says they're all blind. The leaders are blind, people are blind, and because people are only following the shepherd, like animals, like the sheep, And then they're following blindly, and then they all rush down the cliff in complete catastrophe. And somebody maybe tell you, oh, you go down the cliff, you go down the abyss, but they say, no, we are happy, we're following our leader. And what happened, if the catastrophe is happening, then it's oh, how you knew? Because we knew from the eyes given, from the light given by Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra. Then you see what will happen. So the people are going direction of a catastrophe, of practically destroying themselves. And they're unfortunate if somebody comes, a book distributor or somebody who wants to give you some knowledge about how to solve the problem of life. No interest. No interest. This is the misfortune. So if it would be popular and some of the big leaders in the society or stars would accept it, then immediately they may accept, maybe also not. Like George Harrison. George Harrison was very popular, but in one point he could also not speak so much about Krishna because he is employed, he's paid. There's a lobby who is telling him what to propagate, what to sing. And if you sing something wrong, maybe a few times you can do it, but sometimes you should not do it all the time. So this is all directed by demoniac propaganda and by demoniac managers. And that because nobody likes that Krishna becomes popular. Because if one follows Krishna, then the world will become peaceful. Everyone will become happy and satisfied. Not only the soul anyway will become satisfied, but because everything is related to the soul. So if the soul is not over-occupied by the crazy mind and intellect, if the mind and intellect become satisfied and peaceful, then the soul becomes very happy. The soul anyway is happy if it is in spiritual life, because it looks after spiritual life, it looks after happiness, but we're looking in the wrong place. Therefore, the soul is always cheated by the mind and the intellect and the senses, and those who have their senses and mind and intellect not under control, who are actually controlling this world by the mind power, intellectual power, sensual powers. So that's the propaganda. And this propaganda always goes on since, not only now, since long time, hundreds, thousands and thousands of years. But now it becomes more and more obvious, and more people are waking up. They start now to ask questions. What is going on here, and what kind of world we are here now, and what is actually the purpose of this world and of our life, especially the human form of life. And those who are very fortunate, they start to become religious. They're becoming interested in God consciousness. Maybe not Krishna consciousness now, but they start to become interested in God consciousness. They take Christianity more sincere. They take more any religion or any religious process more sincere. Because they realize the material lifestyle doesn't give us satisfaction. Therefore, we have to approach God. So now the Vedas or Vyasadeva in Bhagavatam, he named God is Krishna. He's also known as Rama. He's known as Vasudeva. He has so many names. But we are so unfortunate we are not attracted to any of these names, although the Lord made himself very easily approachable and available by these names or through these names. But because of our Maya, because of our weakness, we don't take shelter in the holy name, in the holy name of Krishna. So, but these like the propagandists in material world, Mayas, Chelas, Kali Chelas, they're making propaganda, they're making advertisement. So the vote is also advertising, but they're advertising for Krishna. They advertise to have your faith and put your faith and love and your whole life in the hands of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He will protect you. He will maintain you. He will arrange everything, and that ultimately you will become purified and ultimately can come to him, back to home, back to Godhead. So here, Srila Prabhupada continues the disciple person who is approaching a guru. He should be very inquisitive to know what is the highest perfection of life. If one is actually inquisitive, Jigyasu, to understand about the highest perfectional stage of our life, then one should search after a spiritual master. Only then, not to solve our material problem. Or because it is very just popular, so I will become recognized. I'm also in the circle of the people who are following a fashionable process. So that's not the purpose. There was one associate of Lord Chaitanya. He never wanted to accept disciple, but Lord Chaitanya asked him accept the disciple. One day he say, okay, I will, the first person that I meet in the morning by taking bath in the Ganga, if I meet a person, a man, whoever he is, it doesn't have to be a star, it doesn't have to be a rich man or educated man, I will accept him as a shishya, disciple. So he went early in the morning, it's still dark, you go to the Ganga, down to the Ganga. And it's still dark because they rise at 4 o'clock, and then they're going to the Ganga, taking bath there. And then when he was standing in the water, taking his bath, then something touched his leg. So he thought, oh, what is that? So he pushed that object away from him, and he thought, oh, maybe it's a tree trunk or maybe even a dead animal who is in the water. So he pushed it away, but then for his amazement, you know, this it was a person, it was a human being who actually was dead. The man was dead, but by the touch of the Vaishnava's feet, he became completely spiritualized, and he woke up to his life. So that person was accepted as his disciple. And it's very interesting in his, actually that man, he was in the night before, he married. It was his marriage day, and with his bride together, and the marriage party with the boat, they crossed over the Ganga in the night. But he was so drunken, intoxicated in this marriage party, wedding party, that he lost the balance and dropped in the water. And you know, the currents of the Ganga is very strong. No, even if you are a very good swimmer, you know, you cannot practically come out of it if you are in the currents there. And he drowned. The currents took him away very swiftly. And everyone thought, oh, now he's dead. And he was actually dead. But he was brought back to life by the touch of a Vaishnava. That person later on became known as Murari Chaitanya. So, and he became himself a great Vaishnava. And he could even make the tigers and animals chant and to live peacefully together. So this is the power of Vaishnava. Of course, we cannot imitate now, and you should not now go and test the guru if you can bring a dead person back to life, or if the guru can cure my uncurable disease, then that's not the meaning, the purpose of the guru. That's not the mission of the guru. This Sharanga Thakur, Sharanga is his name, Sharanga Thakur, who went down to the Ganga. He was a pure Vaishnava. He didn't thought about anything. He only wanted to take his bath. So, and he thought, the first person I meet today, so I will initiate him. I will accept him because this is the instruction of Lord Chaitanya. So he didn't brought this person back because of mercy or compassion. There was no plan. This was just the plan, the causeless mercy of the Lord. Through that Vaishnava, by good chance, you know, they came together and then this miracle happened. So sometimes miracle happen, although Srila Prabhupada often says, there's no miracle. There are no miracles, because for Krishna, everything is normal. So if for us it's miracle, but for Krishna, this is natural, because that's his Achintya Shakti energy. Very powerful. So and therefore for Krishna, there's no miracle. The miracle is only for us. So if you become Krishna conscious, somehow or other, then by this process, one's life will become completely changed. It's like a touchstone, coming in touch with the touchstone, philosopher's stone. If you come in touch with the philosopher's stone or a touchstone, Chintamani, then even rusty iron will turn into gold. It's an alchemistic process what is taking place. So that's the miracle. The miracle is if one comes in contact with Krishna, this is, it changes. It cannot stay in the normal shape of impure. Because Krishna is completely pure, everything that is coming in contact with him becomes purified. If you come in touch with fire, then naturally all dirt, all impurities are burned away. If you come in contact with pure water, dirt is going away. I think this is miracle. No, it's the nature. It's the nature of water. It's the nature of the fire. It is the nature of the Supreme Personality of Godhead to purify everything that comes in contact with him, and that everyone will become automatically blissful. At that point, you don't have to believe anymore. Don't have to cultivate every morning your faith and believe in the God, because then you will experience the presence of God all the time. And if you experience the presence of God all the time, then nothing can shake you anymore. Nothing can influence you anymore or bring you out of your Krishna consciousness or connection with Krishna. This connection is eternal. All other connection to family, to our animals, to this world, to our beloved objects, they come and go, but Krishna will always stay. Therefore, that relationship that we establish with Krishna, that will stay all the time, eternally. And that is the purpose to find out from Guru. What is his material creation? Who I am? Who is God? What is my relationship with him? That's Sambandha. Then if the Guru reveals the Sambandha, that means your relationship to the Lord, and that this material world is a temporary place, it's not our eternal home. Spiritual world is the home. There we belong. So the spiritual master connects you, gives you the knowledge, Sambandha Gyan, about our relationships and who are you and who is God. And then Abhideya, then how you can engage in devotional service. So he gives you sadhana. Right? He gives the process of sadhana bhakti. So Sutta Goswami, and any bona fide speaker in the Bhagavad philosophy or process, Bhagavad Marg, builds up this science of Krishna consciousness through Sambandha, Abhideya, and then ultimately Prayojana. Many people are pseudo transcendentalists, they only become interested in Prayojana, in enjoyment in the transcendence. That means to completely become merged or absorbed in ecstatic love to Krishna, prema bhakti. But we have to understand, without Sambandha Abhideya, without these two beginning processes, Prayojana will not stay a long time. Maybe as a shadow, it will maybe reveal sometimes in your life, in your consciousness, but it will not stay. So because it has to be built up by Sambandha, Abhideya, Prayojana. Then Prayojana will stay all the time. Therefore, the Srimad Bhagavatam, it's a complete science of Sambandha, Abhideya, Prayojana. All these three aspects are there. Actually, in all Vedic scriptures, these three aspects are there. But as we find out of Srila Vyasadeva, he was the compiler of the Vedic scriptures, the Puranas, Itihasas, Mahabharata, Bhagavad Gita, part of Mahabharata, Vedanta Sutra, and all the Puranas. The Vedas he divided into 4 parts. He was not satisfied unless he was compiling the Srimad Bhagavatam. And only as he compiled the Srimad Bhagavatam and completely, after being present when Shukadeva Goswami was speaking the Bhagavatam for the first time publicly to Maharaj Parikshit, Vyasadeva was present, Narada was present. Both were extremely happy. They thought, oh, it seems I hear the Bhagavatam the first time. Because that's the nature of the Bhagavatam. when the speaker speaks, it is like it is never heard before. It's new and fresh. That's material topics as a beginning and an end. It's never, we always have to renew it, make it always so-called fresh. Although it's already chewed. Chewing. It's no more choosing, but we always have to make it fresh. This is materialistic lifestyle. But spiritual life, it's always fresh. And the more you hear, the more you absorb, the more you become inquisitive, the more you become eager in absorbing and to hear about this message of Krishna. Srinvatam Svakata Krishna, Punya Shravana Kirtana, Ridyantax Bhadrani Vidhunoti Suritsatam. So Sutta Goswami will speak about that later on. So the heart become purified, consciousness become purified, intellect become purified by hearing about Krishna, Krishna's name, Krishna Katha. Philosophy about Krishna Katha means not only Leela, it also means his knowledge about him, knowledge about the process. So if you're only interested in Leela, then we can be sentimental. But if we are scientifically practice this Bhagavad process as it was taught by Srila Vyasadeva and Shukadev Goswami and Sutta Goswami, beginning with the basis, with the Sambandha, then Abhidaya, describing the process, and then the goal of life. The goal of life is Krishna Prem, is to re-establish our forgotten or our covered consciousness to be an eternal servant of Krishna. And then engage in Krishna's service according to our rasa in Dasya, Sakya, Vatsalya, Shanta, maybe also, and Madhurya. So this is the perfection of life. And this is in the 10th canto. But Bhagavatam has 12 cantos, so we have to start from step by step, from the first, second, third, fourth. So gradually going on in our meditation and in our absorption, beginning with the lotus feet of Krishna, then gradually coming up to his face, not jumping directly to his face. That's impersonal. So we start by his feet. So meditation starts with the feet. So when Srila Vyasadeva heard the Bhagavatam, and then he became so much inspired. And after that, he wrote the Bhagavatam down for the benefit of the whole world, for all, especially for the human beings, because that is the ripened commentary to the Vedanta. Sri Vyasadeva, after long study and absorption in Vedic literatures, he became so much realized. So you see, Krishna consciousness, or even for a sage like Vyasadeva, it's a realization. It's a development. It's not coming from one day to another. So gradually, one comes to the ripened stage of relishing rasa in the practice of Krishna consciousness in relation to Krishna, and then one's heart and intellect and everything becomes completely satisfied. So Srila Vyasadeva, he wrote this Bhagavatam some 5,000 years ago. And then some 100 years after that, the sages of actually Vyasadeva wrote this maybe around 5,000 years. And the sages of Naimisharanya, they also met before Bhagavatam was actually completely compiled, because in the Bhagavatam we find also the recording of speaking of Sutta Goswami. So two discourses are taking place. First, that of Sutta Goswami, what he has heard from Shukadev Goswami. So and then there, of course, there's so many other dialogues with Narad Muni, with Vyasa, Narada, with Yudhishthira Maharaj, and so on. So that means practically the whole Bhagavatam is questions and answers. Perfect questions and perfect answers. So the curious person who wants to ask questions, he approaches the knowledgeable person. You don't go to a fool and ask a question about that. So you go to the knower. And because sages of Naimisharanya, they could understand that Sutta Goswami was a very knowledgeable person, not only in knowledge of intellectually, but also in realization, and also in receiving the special mercy of his superiors, his gurus, and of the Supreme Lord himself. And therefore, they chose him as the speaker. Maharaj Parikshit chose Shukadev Goswami as a speaker, although there were many other sages present. But when Shukadev Goswami appeared, immediately understood from his appearance that he is the personality. He is a transcendentalist, because he almost practically looked like, had appearance like Krishna, had a bluish body, had long blackish curly hair, lotus eyes, beautiful smile, completely careless, not attached to anything in the material world. So he understood that person I must approach and ask him the question. And what was his first question? What is the duty of a person who is on the edge of death? Or what a person has to do who dies, who is dying? Because Maharaj Parikshit only had 7 days left. That he knew. We don't know. We think we have so many years more ahead, but it's no guarantee. Anytime we can be finished. But Maharaj Parikshit, he got the guarantee. 7 days you will live. So that means he had 7 days full time, a whole week. He could use this whole week, to find out what he should do. Then he didn't surround himself by his relatives. He even left the home. He went to the bank of the Ganga. And there he was sitting down. He fasted, no eating, no drinking, no sleeping. And then that was the point when all these great sages and also Shukadev Goswami appeared. Then Krishna sees, oh, here is a person who is eager to know about the truth, to solve the problem of life. So I will send him my representative. So Shukadev Goswami was sent, inspired by the Lord within the heart. So he came on the right time to the right place. And Maharaj Parikshit and all the sages also, they were unanimously recognized Shukadev Goswami as the son of Vyasadev, as the pure representative of the Lord. So everyone was very happy and everyone was very eager. What is now going to happen? So what they will speak now. Like Krishna also, Arjuna was in bewilderment, and so he approached Krishna, and Krishna was Guru, and he gave him all the answers on Arjuna's doubts, and he completely destroyed it, so that Arjuna ultimately was free from doubt. and he was ready to fight and surrender to Krishna completely. So Maharaj Parikshit also became completely fearless. In the beginning, he was afraid of that. But then after he heard Shukadev Goswami, every day, more and more of his doubts, of his fears and of his anxieties disappeared. Even he forgot to feel thirst and hunger and sleepiness. He was completely fully awakened to spiritual consciousness, Krishna consciousness, by the presence of Shukadev Goswami, hearing his katha. So that's the process. If we are absorbing ourselves in to hear about Krishna in the association of devotees, and if we have good fortune to hear Srila Prabhupada lectures or hear lectures of experienced devotees who are acting as spiritual masters, then one can become actually very much realized and experienced. We will become fearless and very determined. And then can happen what will happen in this world now, that we are not afraid. So because we are on the proper path. So there's only one problem the Vaishnava has, to maybe try to make others happy and also successful and fearless. So therefore we are preaching, we are distributing books, we are making programs, advertisements to try to bring people near to Krishna. This is our duty. That's the duty of a person who knows about Krishna. Then you don't keep it for yourself. You have to distribute it. You have to share it with others. Thank you. I stop here. Hare Krishna. Any question?
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, yes, I have question. Shakti Akladini. So you mentioned that our relationship with parents, relatives are not eternal life after life, temporary. And then our relationship with Krishna is actually eternal. So I would like to know that if it's like this, I can understand that also our relationship with the spiritual master is also eternal. So I just want to confirm, is it like this, that life after life, we are meeting the same soul who are leading us, or is it not like this? So
the last sentence I didn't understand.
So is it like this, that life after life, we are meeting the same person like our spiritual master who are leading us, because maybe in previous life or maybe in this life, we are not finished the process completely and we need the guidance to come back to Godhead. So I just want to know, because from that point of view, I could understand this is also internal, the relationship with spiritual master.
The relationship with the spiritual master is eternal, because the spiritual master is ultimately Krishna, but he can reveal himself through one person to another person. So who knows if he already had the spiritual master in previous life, because most probably, I don't know. So, but now we have the good fortune to have this process and accept the chance now and go back home, back to Godhead, and not take birth again. Don't risk, and then my spiritual master will come again and they will save me. He may come, or also somebody will come. Krishna maybe also will send somebody else. Although Prabhupada told the spiritual master, don't force spiritual master to come again. But we should not take it as guaranteed. But Krishna will take care. He will arrange that somebody will come. If you are sincere and if you already started and by chance you're maybe not perfected, so then next life we will continue, because we hear whatever you start in this life, in Krishna consciousness, next life you will go on. That's like, it's a very good saving. It's a saving that stays, it never becomes deteriorated. Okay? Other question?
Yes, thank you.
Hare Krishna, here is Avadutta Roy Das.
Yeah.
I was listening some lectures on the 9th canto, and there is a story of Prishadra and Vasishta. Accidentally, Prishadra killed the cow, not the lion. And I was wondering why Prishadra did not reject Vasishta if he was, Prabhupada mentions, he was in Tamagun. I don't know, was it temporarily or not? But usually it is said that the spiritual master who is in lower modes of nature should be rejected. He didn't, and still he attained perfection. So if you can maybe explain this controversy. I mean, Prishadra, he went back to the
Yeah, I didn't study it. I don't have this so much in mind now. It's in the 9th canto. Now we're in the 1st, you know. So, but my understanding is that he was a guru, but he was not a guru in Vaishnava Sampradaya. He's a Chati guru. That means family guru. That means coming from birth line. So in Varnashram, or is it like a guru? No, this is it's not transcendental. So there can be many situations there, but because the faith in guru is there, and because one is trained, you know, to have faith in guru, and even if he maybe doesn't make everything perfectly. That ultimately it will be for your benefit. Maybe Rasa Vilasini has a question. Good. Nothing.
Guru Maharaj, can I?
Yeah, Govardhan, Haribol.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. Thank you very much for your lecture. Well, you just speak is related to the lecture today about this. Maharaj Parikshit was asking what to do. He has 7 days about time of dying, and I ask myself, especially those last months or those last 2 years, because this situation is so crazy. Many times I'm worried about this time of dying when will come. You know, I wish. I always think as the best thing will be if I could come to Vrindavan at least a few days before I left this body, or at least that I can be in association with of the devotees, at least go back into temple in Ljubljana or Zagreb. So that's yeah. I find myself many times bothering with this question, with these worries, because I didn't want to stay here in somewhere where there is no association of devotees or well, by your mercy, I got Krishna Balaram and Gorni Tai. Well, I think I'm also at the holy place. So, but many times I think I would like to come to Vrindavan is the best place to leave the body or in the temple. So, is there any cause to be worried about this, or just keep on going as used to say? Sorry.
No, it's okay. It's not so easy now to buy a ticket to Vrindavan and then think you are in Vrindavan and you die there in 7 days. So how you know? Maybe you will live 10 more years there, and then maybe you will become so much changed in mind, maybe positive or negative. That you will maybe become also afraid, and then you actually become eager to go back. So actually, it is not so much important if you are in Vrindavan directly or in now in the place where you are, because wherever you are, when you live Krishna conscious life, you have deities, you have holy name, you have lectures, you have books, you have devotees also. If you want, you can find devotees there. You can, not a lack of devotees. And I'm sure if something happens, somebody will come and be present, you know, if you like it. Maybe some they don't like, maybe some they like it. And not everyone is the same. So, and ultimately, it is Krishna who is guiding you, who inspires you from within. He knows your desire. And so I would not worry about that. I think now I will not recommend you go to Vrindavan. It's not a good time now to travel. And even if you are there, it's very hot now, 50 degrees. Of course, for you in Split, maybe not so much a problem because you are near to it also. Then you also have to have a place there. And then if you have no air conditioning and you are not adjusted to this kind of heat and lifestyle there, maybe you will become so much I would say tired out of this situation that you become weak, and then then also Krishna consciousness will not be very, very strong. So I would recommend you to stay in the place where you are now, and because there you have everything what you need. Not?
Yeah. No, I was not thinking just at this moment, but well, I'm nearly 60, but then I think when at least after 10, or I wish I will still live at least 10, 15 years.
Whatever.
But anyway, yeah.
What Chaitanya told, stay wherever you are and try to cultivate Krishna consciousness, and that's all. Don't have to change the place.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. And you don't know anyone in Vrindavan, so it's I don't recommend you. At least now not. And you're still a young man, you know, only 60.
57.
Oh. Then life only starts, you know. Life before 57, you know, is so much allurements and so many illusions, you know. So now everything becomes more clear, you know, in which direction to go.
Yeah.
Good, then we can stop here. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Shri Rohinisuta Prabhu ki jai.
Thank you. See you next time.
Yeah.
1 month again, huh? Bhakti Granta should contact me. I don't know where he is. Somewhere he is
Yes, I will do it.
disappeared.
He is here. He will contact you. Yeah.
Okay, good. Haribol.
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna.
Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Naya, Naya.
Guru Maharaj.